7:33. And I guess I need to say that open session public meetings are subject to being videotaped or recorded. I guess a videotape was crossed off. Recorded. Your image and voice may be recorded. There you go. There's the legalese out of the way. Alrighty. Guys, everything you want to do?
Dangerous question.
I know.
What's our posted
I'm
agenda?
really just such a bad chair.
Call to order,
Oh, you got it? Okay.
approved minutes.
Covered. Okay, now.
Did you guys take did anybody take minutes at the last meeting? I wasn't there.
You know, I made.
Me at the town meeting? I mean, you were here for.
I wasn't for the town.
No,
meeting.
she wasn't
Right,
at the town meeting.
that would be the only one. I don't think we have to do it.
We didn't actually.
So
Yeah, we
here's what I took. Do you want me to type it? So we talked about 2 votes.
Okay.
This is our pre-meeting ahead of town meeting. So we talked about item 5, Article 7 on capital planning, which was the issues got raised with, let's not take the funds from free cash, let's take it from the Highland Commons Cultural Mitigation Fund. So we voted 4-0 in favor of that and so on. So I don't know.
You know, I can.
Point of order, do you want me to type this up and submit them as?
I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not sure we ever actually called the meeting to order. I'm not sure we actually had a meeting.
Oh, okay, so if you
Well,
didn't,
but we did vote.
Yeah, we kind of did.
And we said on the liquor license, Article 4, we said, we're not voting it because we didn't have time, revenue information in time. So it's
Okay.
really only the vote on the
on the,
item 5 of Article 7.
Yeah, we didn't actually
did do
vote on that one
We did do
either.
a vote, even if, I don't know if we were technically in session or not, but.
okay. So we don't have any minutes for now, anyway.
That is
No.
correct. And we
Okay.
can always do them next meeting if we decide we
Okay.
really.
Well, that's what they would be.
Okay.
There you go. Now, all the important stuff there is right there. So.
Can take a picture of it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm happy to type up something if it's appropriate, but,
I think it's more just like to check,
Yeah.
check all the boxes. Then we have review and finalize the budget guidelines.
Right.
So,
That's the thing she sent us,
Yeah.
which I didn't bother printing.
so
Yeah, I didn't.
here
print any
it
of
is,
that.
Stan.
Trying to not
Thank
print
you.
everything,
Yeah.
but I read it.
I printed it
So-
so I could read it and then didn't get a chance.
Oh, this was our letter from,
That's last year's letter. It was attached to Margaret's email today.
got it,
Yeah.
yep.
So a little after lunch, she sent out an email
Right.
and said,
Selectmen will be voting on this.
well, they voted last night to approve her budget memo, which she sent.
Right, you sent the two
And,
things together. The budget process memo, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't I find this? I already read it.
So we just have to update the budget letter
Correct.
from last.
Yeah, I
time.
can't find, it's not in this note from today, but she,
Yes, it is.
Is
She
it-
had 2
is it today?
attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the second.
oh, here it is, last year's FinCom budget letter is attached to your reference. So I think we need to put out new instructions? Is that, Stan, is that what you?
Well, right, I mean, I'm not sure that the instructions will actually change, other than maybe just dates. I'm not sure if anything actually needs to change for this year, to be honest with you. I think we're still in pretty much the same environment we were, aren't we?
If not worse.
You know, so I don't feel like we should be, well, are we actually in a freeze, or are they not in a freeze anymore?
So here's what her memo that was approved by Select Board yesterday says. Our local revenue projections are trending positively for the first time in 3 consecutive budget cycles. Meanwhile, the 12 months consumer price index increase for our area is 4% as of the date of this memo, which is November 11th. So, and then basically that unless there's some justification that the bottom line departmental budgets don't go up more than 2.5% over fiscal '22 amounts approved at the May town meeting, so, which is similar to what we did last year.
Right.
And personnel has voted to recommend a 2% cost of living adjustment. With an exception that January of 2023, the minimum wage goes up to $15, so that would impact this upcoming budget. And the deadline for the departments to get things into town accountant is December 6th, so I guess our meetings with the town departments is gonna be after the 6th.
Right, right. And I actually don't think we have, or do we? Do we have any December meetings scheduled right now?
I thought we had one.
I know that Margaret did these two for us, well, these two meetings, tomorrow as well. Which, I don't know if we actually have to cancel that, or,
December 1st, I think there's one.
Other meeting dates from our minutes in November, December 15 at 7:30. So the next
I
meeting we
don't
have on
think,
December 15.
we might have it in our minutes, but I don't think it's actually on my.
Oh, on
government
the,
yet.
I'm on the Berlin town page,
yeah.
and it says December 15th.
It does?
Yes, and I think that was like 2 meetings ago we discussed that.
Huh.
It's in your November 3 minutes.
Okay, but I thought, I put it in, but I thought we had discussed it even before that.
Probably.
Because I think the idea was to make sure we had a meeting in December and that seemed
Yep.
like the right
Yep.
time.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing it under all the, I get the blizzard of emails from Margaret, or from when she does it for us, and it comes up under the town government support. I'm seeing the November one, October,
Oh, I see,
September.
you're checking
December
email.
15th is posted.
I'm checking email, yes. And
Yeah, you
isn't it,
know what? Mine, my town governments come up on my calendar as brown, like tonight is, like just the color, I don't know why. But Stan's right, mine isn't coming up for December. It's posted, but it's not showing in my calendar.
yeah, that's interesting. So I don't understand how the process works as far as what I mean, this email doesn't come from her, it comes from town government support. So I feel like when it's officially posted is when this email goes out, but maybe there's some intermediate step, because you're saying it's showing on the,
Yeah.
it shows on the website, it shows on the town page, but it didn't send out the email.
I've got a November 3 email showing that date, that it's been scheduled. It's in my email.
On November 3rd?
Yep. Yep. There's a December 15 meeting. Now, I only usually get 2 emails, there's only 1 for that date, but
I was gonna say, the ones that I have from November 3rd are for November 3rd. The following meeting has been scheduled for November 3rd. That one came out on November 3rd.
Yeah, I got 4 notices on November
Yeah.
3rd.
Yep. And then I have November 17th, November 8th, November 16th. Those are the only ones I have from town government support. I don't have anything showing December. So I don't know if it means
I think
that we need to do something about it.
Yeah, there's usually 2 emails, but I got 1 for that date.
Okay. Well, I didn't even get the one, so that's why.
There's the list, it came out. I got it
Yeah.
in below, that's December 15.
Yeah, and I don't know why you got it and I didn't. Because I don't delete these. I never delete these. So, then maybe we don't need to worry about doing anything about it. It's posted. I mean, if it's on, I guess if it's on the website,
It's posted.
it's
It's
posted.
posted.
So that's really the only thing that really matters. Whether we've gotten an email reminder about it is probably irrelevant.
As long as it's in
Right.
your calendar.
Well, how would I forget? I mean, come on. I mean, seriously.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What could
exactly.
happen? These
Let's
things happen
just check.
sometimes.
Yes, it is in my calendar.
All right, then.
But I also have one on December 8th on my calendar and December 1st. So it just shows up every Wednesday on my calendar. Now, I don't know
Oh,
if
I
that's
see.
me doing that or if that's Yeah, I have one showing on every Wednesday in December, including the 22nd, 29th.
Okay, because it was in October when we were going over the calendar for the fiscal year budget.
Right.
We put in, that's when we put in the 17th and the 15th. And then we had to change the 17th to tonight.
I think I just put Wednesday town finance every Wednesday for the year, because it shows up in my calendar. I have it every day, every Wednesday.
So you're
the
coming
entire
here
year.
every Wednesday?
I come in here whether you guys come or not.
Okay.
I just look at it as my fun little time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I've just put that in myself. So I don't think those post to my calendar per se. I think I created my calendar, but maybe not.
Okay.
So anyway. So has anyone read through Margaret's entire letter for the budget kickoff, and is there anything we need to do about it? Does anyone think
Yeah,
that there's any need to adjust anything?
I just read it before I came over here. I don't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Extraordinary.
I read it quickly today when it came out, but I didn't see anything that, and I don't think that we as a committee had anything that we were overly crazy about, other than we wanted to get that notice out to the schools, which we did, so.
Yep. So that 2.5, the 2.5, don't exceed the 2.5 doesn't apply to the non-discretionary fixed cost items, that sort of thing. I mean, that's in her note, her memo. And it says use the worksheets, the budget requests the town accountant gave you, and if you don't use them, we're going to send them back.
Good.
It's all that sort of thing.
Yeah. All righty, well, I mean, if it's on our agenda that we're supposed to approve it, I suppose maybe we should have a motion to accept it and approve it.
I think we approved it in draft. Or no, did we not? Did we talk about it?
I don't think we had received this one at all. I mean, we just had the one that we sent to the schools.
Yeah, I don't think we had seen this yet.
So is she asking us to,
Well, it's on our agenda, so that's why
okay,
I'm
okay.
thinking that we should have a vote since it's on our agenda.
yeah.
Mostly because in order to kind of protocol as far as what people are expecting when they see our agenda, that I think they're expecting us to act on
Right.
agenda
okay.
items, so.
All right. She does say she's pleased to report we're seeing stability in various local receipt categories and state aid revenues,
Right.
as well as significant rebounding of serious declines in certain local receipts during the pandemic. And calling out local option rooms and meals tax distributions and exceeded pre-pandemic Q1 levels. Unrestricted general government state aid remains stable. Construction activity in Berlin's strong, so permit fees are stable.
So you're thinking we should change this first paragraph to reflect some of what she's saying?
No, I wouldn't change her memo at all, especially after the select board voted on it.
Are you referring to the one that
Finance
that we have to
committee work,
send
yeah.
out? We have to modify this. The other one, what's our budget instructions.
Right.
Yep.
To reflect that.
I'm talking about this one. Am I on the wrong one?
No, I think you're right. I was looking at her.
Which
I was
is the
looking at
title?
her
No,
letter.
she's you're looking at the budget instructions, but we're talking about the memo right now.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, yeah, give it a different name, that helps. Yeah, I was just reading stuff from the memo, because
Sorry,
Stan had asked,
I know,
are we
I
okay with her
understand you were
memo?
reading from the memo.
Oh, were you
but
asking,
I
are
thought
we
you
o-
were reading from the memo with the reflection of changing our letter. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying.
Were you asking
No, not
about
yet.
budget instructions, Stan, or were you at?
Yes, budget
Thank
instructions
you.
from
Okay,
Margaret. It's in our agenda that we are supposed to approve this.
yeah, okay. So we need to do the dates, right?
We need to do what dates?
Change the dates in the memo.
Well, I think,
Budget
uh,
instructions.
We're not there yet. We haven't
We're not
done,
there.
I think we need to address her budget guideline
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Do we need to do anything about that? I think, do we need to make, are we making any suggestions or any recommendations based on what has been put together already by her and approved by the select board?
I don't see any changes.
And if not, we just need a motion to approve it.
I move that we approve Town Administrator's November 11, 2021 Budget Process Memo.
I'll second that.
Do we need any further discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now, on to our budget for next year, on our memo for the budget.
Who wants to be our official editor?
Someone with better penmanship than I.
Well, I'm not gonna do penmanship, I can do it here.
You can do it on the screen.
That's fine.
So the very first line, it's fiscal year '23.
Yeah.
Right.
The date is today.
And
You
today-
can't really see what the instructions say on mine. It says something 14,
Well,
20,
Scott's got it up on
20.
his computer here.
November 16th.
16, yeah.
2021.
And we haven't moved up this year's budget kickoff.
Right,
Although,
yeah,
Scott,
I
you were
think- I
saying
think-
we still want things earlier, but
What was it last year that it was requested to be by when?
November 10.
And
Yeah.
No, it said November 30th. It was, the budget kickoff meeting was November 10th.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
All right, so what's the, let's just go to do the easy stuff. When is their budget kickoff meeting? Did she list when they're going to do one?
The deadline to submit budget request to the town accountant is December 6th.
Right. But is
So
there
I
a
don't
budget-
know if there's
Is there
a-
a budget kickoff meeting?
I don't know if they're having a meeting to kick off the budget.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I think-
Is December 6th
I
a
think that
Monday?
was done because of the pandemic last year.
I feel like we have that every year.
Do we?
I
Yes.
feel like we do.
Well,
Used to, I don't know, did you attend, when we used to do it before, it's like we, obviously nobody attended in the morning usually.
Right.
From finance committee, just in the evening, so did you attend last? I was at the committee,
I believe,
oh, here's our email today. Our fiscal year '23 budget kickoff meetings have been postponed to a date
Oh.
to be determined in the next couple of weeks.
there we go, okay.
So she says June's going to send out the budget packets
Well, you know
next
what?
week.
I mean, half of this memo from us is discussing the budget kickoff, or at least a chunk of it. I don't know.
Well, the deadlines are already set. Didn't she say December 6th? Did I not?
Yeah, that is set.
So that can be changed from November 30th.
Yes, I have updated that. Next also on
Budget
Monday.
Presentation. I guess we can't do much about the 9th, December 9th.
Well,
Well, that would be our next meeting, right, Mary? December 15th?
Correct.
December
We may have somebody coming in December 15th, we don't know, but that would be our next meeting date, so that December 9th could be December 15th.
yeah, and the bid on the budget kickoff in our instructions could just say what's been said, the kickoff meetings will be held in November.
Yes, that is also true. You don't
You
have
just
to be
simplify it.
specific.
Is it even
Yeah.
definitive they'll be held in November? at
Well,
this
here's
point?
Margaret's note. Postponed to a date to be determined in the next couple of weeks, so November 16.
Well, next week is Thanksgiving, and how many days are in the next week still in November? The 6th, if the 6th is a Monday, so 5th, 4th.
Well, then we could just take her language and say the
So,
next couple of weeks, just say.
Yeah, so it might actually be December, because December 1st will be a Wednesday.
Right, but
there you go.
It's ambiguous enough to just say a couple of weeks, I think, and then
Yeah.
not have to lock ourselves into
Exactly.
a month.
How about you just say the FY 2023 budget kickoff will be determined within the next few weeks and leave it at that?
Yep, agreed.
I don't even know if they'll be doing by Zoom or what they're,
I don't think,
I would say maybe format to be determined as well, or something that is. And then as far as budget presentation goes,
Well, we may have some the 15th
Yeah,
if she's
there's no
got
reason
someone
we-
lined up.
right.
That's our next meeting, and
There's no
if we
reason
don't
we
have
can't-
any, we don't have any.
right,
but
there's
we
no
can-
reason we can't just put it in there and say
Yeah,
budget
that's how I
presentations will
feel.
begin
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
15th, and
Yeah.
if we don't have any, we don't have any. I don't remember if we had any in December last year, I don't think we did.
you
And
actually
then the
remember
last
police
thing is
last
to
year.
make decisions by March
You
3rd.
remember
What
police
what do you
and
think
fire
that's
in
gonna be?
December.
Do we have a date for that?
For what, Janet?
The next sentence, it's got March 3rd as a date.
I think it's probably going to be around there because town meeting's usually the second Monday in May, and you need
Mhm.
60 days ahead.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to be
Well,
right around
All
there.
right, so let's just look for the Wednesday, that's at the beginning of March, what is that?
That's what I'm doing. I got March 2nd, which would make sense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
5, 6.
Yeah.
That brings us 6 weeks, 7, 8 weeks to the 27th of April. Did you say May 1st?
The second Monday in May is usually town meeting. Do I have that right?
Second Monday in May, okay. Yeah, so you could leave it the same as we did, only
No,
March
the first
2nd.
Monday of May is town meeting.
It is the first Monday.
Yes.
And
And
that
then
would be
the,
the 7th. Oh, I'm sorry, no, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one.
It'll be the 1st. May 1st is the first one.
Well, again, you know what, it's better to just have an earlier date that says we're gonna make decisions by, rather than,
Yeah.
Well, March 2nd is a Wednesday where March 3rd was last year, so do you want to just?
right, no, I'm just
move it to
saying,
the 2nd?
I would say the 2nd rather than the 9th, just because
Yeah.
there's no reason not to be early.
Here's on the calendar. May 2, 2022 is the annual town meeting.
Was it?
It's this calendar that she gave us a while ago. So if you on the back side, there's the
Yeah, that
town
one makes
meeting, May
sense, 'cause
2nd.
the 1st is Monday.
So
I mean,
we
is
might
the
have to do
2nd.
it the last week of February.
Okay.
So the town meeting's gonna be held on a Tuesday?
Is the
No.
date wrong?
Well, you said May 1st on Monday, or is that?
No, May 2nd is,
On Monday.
Is a Monday.
Oh, okay, May 2nd is a Monday, okay. Yes.
I don't think it's that critical that there's an exact correlation with the weeks that we're ending this. I think we had some wiggle room in there.
but if you said, so you want, but are you trying to say February 24th? Or,
Am I wrong about the 60 days? What is the?
I don't know what that, I'm not.
60 days on what?
60 days.
Hang on. She's got some footnotes here that might be instructive.
So hearing any appeals too till the March 16th? I'm assuming the 16th is the next Wednesday.
Well, actually, I've got to be wrong. Maybe it's 30 days, because it says here, March 23, final budgets and FinCom report to the select board. And,
Yeah, that's why,
So it's gotta
that's
be
why I'm
30
not
days,
overly
not
concerned about
60.
having to say February. I think we stick with March 2nd. I say
okay.
okay.
that we will make decisions by March 2nd.
That would be our final votes to reconsider any budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also can be changed, I mean.
Yeah, you can change it.
Legal documents. And then just say budget decision will be emailed to you at that point. There will be a final finance committee meeting to hear any appeals on March, 2 weeks after that, so the 16th instead of the 17th. And then it's really just the first paragraph that we need to figure out. And I feel like most of it needs to come out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think we have this COVID crisis budget process at this point.
So we don't know when the budget kickoff is. So we could still have to say that the budget kickoff date is still yet to be determined.
I don't even think we have to announce it in that first part. I think we just leave it, since it is relatively ambiguous, I don't think we should highlight it again in the first paragraph. And it's, if anything, it's not moved up, so I don't think we want to even bring it up.
No.
But I mean, we could still say something to the effect of, you know, still dealing with COVID-19.
Backlash.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it is still affecting the town budget. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're not in a normal state for local receipts.
Well,
so it's-
you could echo what she's put in her memo.
True. Which,
I mean,
how
there's
did she
language
word it?
right
She just
there.
said that they're strong, or what, what did she say?
Well, Scott's got the two documents.
Got them up side
He's
by
got
side
'em.
there,
Yeah.
side by each.
I am pleased to report that we are seeing stability in the various local receipt categories and state aid revenue, as well as significantly rebounding of serious decline in certain blah, 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 blah.
Can we actually bring that screen over here and plug it in? And it looks like it's a HDMI cable, everybody could see my screen. Or was that too much work? It's on wheels.
Do you think that you could plug that screen right into your PC?
Yeah, it looks
Scott?
like there's an HDMI cable
Oh,
there, as
cool.
long as we have a.
I'll bring it
power-
over. Hang tight.
I need to-
Well, this sentence here, it says, sustain, in the recent years, Berlin has taken many financially prudent,
Well, let's make sure
forward-looking
there's
actions
HDMI
such
cable.
as,
Bring it with me. I see a power cable.
Where are you reading that from? Jen?
it's this third paragraph.
It won't help.
You can't use it?
No, unless they have one.
I think you just put the fourth paragraph with, you know, add the facts that she wrote in, and then say, with this in mind, the town departments and committees are required to submit expense budgets with no more than a 2.5%. You know how she has that?
Mhm.
Because that's basically what we're gonna do, right?
Hey, Scott, there's an overhead projector right there.
Well, maybe after that, we can have a film strip.
Now we just need a mimeograph machine, and we're all right back. right
Wouldn't
back.
that be great to do that at town meeting?
But
To
it's not gonna
hand
be
out
lined up
everything
for
with
who's to see.
mimeograph?
Who's gonna clean the chalk, who's gonna clean the erasers from the
I used to
chalkboard?
love to volunteer to do mimeographing, that was like the best.
Yeah.
Through, I want to disconnect it and make it.
I wonder if you could still get this.
I don't know.
I think we should just
Is
take
it connected up there?
wholesale language
It is
out of hers and
connected,
throw it in
but
ours.
it's
I
through-
totally
through
agree,
the whole
totally agree.
I don't know where.
I don't think we have to go into the great detail that she went into
No, but
about the
I
Green
think the first-
Committee and all that,
I
but,
think this first line from the second paragraph that says we're seeing stability in various local
I
receipts.
wanna
Yep.
Pull it out.
and then being
well as
mindful of the fact and
significant
go to the,
rebounding.
yep, I agree.
cable off.
Or in particular,
I will,
yeah, I don't think we go
I'll
to
return
that.
this guy.
Yeah.
But then I think, like you said too, Janet, then we incorporate the 2.5% thing and
Yeah, and call it a
and
day.
it's a wrap.
Yep.
Okay, Scott, I think let's just skip the whole technology thing. I think we're going to be brief and to the point.
Somebody's gonna dictate to Scott?
I am. So you have her letter up side by side?
Yeah,
So,
in her last bit.
I think we should say the Finance Committee is, and then use her language, pleased to report that we are seeing stability in various local receipt categories and state aid revenues, as well as significant rebounding of serious declines in certain local receipts during the pandemic. I think that sentence is perfect.
What was, just a second. Finance committee, what was that?
Is pleased to report.
Why don't we say the
then-
Finance Committee echoes town
Oh,
administrators?
sure, there you go.
Comment and then put it in italics, quote it.
Okay,
Just say we echo
even
it.
better. Then we're not taking credit for it.
Thank you.
You didn't want to plagiarize.
Yeah,
Well, it's going to the same readers, so.
Yeah,
that is
you know.
true. That is also true.
And what is the report called? The town administrator report? Or what is
Town
it?
administrator
Whole first
memo.
Paragraph.
Fiscal year 2023 budget process memo. Ooh, cable.
And then you wanted to go to the,
We're good, we're not.
Thank you.
going.
You're a real
Thank you.
trooper, Roger, to do that
Yeah.
for us, but I think we're,
that looks like an Ethernet cable anyways, that went to,
That's not what you want looking at.
no.
And then,
But thanks for looking.
Okay.
then I think we jump down to, with the above fact in mind, again, we echo, and then repeat that sentence.
All right, so which sentence am I repeating from here? So we have the, I am pleased, right?
Yeah, that
So we
one.
want to do what?
Before we get to that though, Janet, should we comment? So there's the next line here, or one of the next sentences, unrestricted general government state aid remains stable in FY '22 despite the pandemic, and state aid reductions are not anticipated in the coming fiscal year. I think that is also important to note. As well as the local revenue projections are trending positive for the first time.
3 consecutive budget cycles, yeah.
So what do you got so far, Scott?
Okay, so, so where I'm
If only
at
we got
is-
it on a screen, wouldn't that be
Right.
great?
Where I'm at is the Finance Committee echoes the Town Minister's FY '23 process memo about seeing stability in various local receipt categories and state aid revenues, as well as significant rebounding of serious declines in certain local receipts during the pandemic. That was the part right after the I am pleased.
Yep, yep. Also, and then I would, maybe even the next sentence would just say, also, unrestricted general government state aid remains stable, or given that general government state aid has remained stable in FY '22 despite the pandemic. Yeah, so I would just start that sentence by saying, given that.
Okay, given that, and then unrestricted federal
Yep.
government state aid remains stable.
Yep,
And state aid reductions are not
Yep.
anticipated in
I'm
the
gonna
fiscal
bring my
year.
laptop. It's
Yep.
obviously standing higher behind the ages with her.
and I would say that maybe right from there, we jump in, that just is the lead into our sentence of the 2.5%.
Okay, down here at the last paragraph.
Unless we decide we want to insert anything else in between there. So, all right, so can you read what it says? So given,
Okay, just a second, let me just copy this last one in. Okay, so, let's see, after the, it says, given that unrestricted general government state aid remains stable in FY '22, despite the pandemic, and state aid reductions are not anticipated in the coming fiscal year.
okay.
With the above facts in mind, town government, or town departments, boards, and committees are required to submit FY '23 payroll and expense budget requests that reflect the bottom line departmental budget increase of not more than 2.5% or the FY '22 amounts approved at the May 15th.
Yep,
So those are pretty much word for word,
yep.
and leaving the same things bolded and underlined as
I
in.
mean, unless anyone has some burning desire to transmit a different message.
No.
Or anything in addition to what Margaret has said, I don't feel a need to do anything other than what she has.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Outline.
she's going on for 3 paragraphs. I'd like ours to be
we can be a
short.
little more brief,
But the
But the
message
gist of it,
is-
right? I mean,
Yeah,
do
the
we-
message seems
do
sound.
we need to reinvent the wheel?
No,
Nope.
no.
And I don't see that there's any reason, I don't see that there's any, unless we did have it, there's not some downside to us echoing these thoughts, because this is just, we're agreeing and
Yeah.
we feel the same way. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
that's what it is. Sure is. Those parts.
I was curious when I read her memo, She said there was some abatements on the retail, and I'm curious about, I don't know if we've seen the numbers on abatements. I would think that that's things like the mall, like
I would
Sonoma Pond
imagine,
Mall,
yeah,
but I, do you remember if we went over those numbers? I don't.
No, I don't think we.
But the
curious.
mall, I mean, some of our, I'm sure the stores that have closed, I mean, you know, they're, well, you know, if
Not
they're no
even
longer
abatement, they're just
there,
not
you
there.
can't really collect, like Macy's is,
Well,
or
we
not
had
Macy's,
Sears.
Sears isn't there, so I would assume they would file an abatement, right?
Yeah, I'm
Because if they're not
assuming that
there,
doesn't
they're not
happen.
gonna pay. I'm just guessing, I don't know, I'm just wondering.
I was just wondering what the numbers look like.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because it's
Right, you
characterized,
just-
it's
yeah.
characterized in here as,
Yeah. I'm just trying, besides Sears, what else is gone? I can't remember.
here,
there's
well, she
the-
says as well as the issuance of a few large abatements to retailers, so I have to think Sears is one of those large abatements, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering
I think if anything else,
what the numbers look like.
yeah.
Was that in her, that's in her letter as well?
Yeah, it's in her first paragraph of her
paragraph.
memo.
Unfortunately, it's clumped together into two budget cycles, so it doesn't clarify anything in between the fiscal year '21 or the present fiscal year.
Right.
Right, so she's
Yes,
not making any
yes.
predictions about '23. She's just commenting on what's happened in the past.
Yeah.
Other than to say ultra conservatively. But the question, but is she referring to what she expects the FY '23 budget to reflect? Or is she commenting on what has happened in '21 and '22 there with that last sentence? To prevent any potential revenue deficits in the midst of this uncertainty, there was little option but to estimate local receipts, state aid, and tax collections ultra conservatively.
Yeah, she's looking backwards with that comment. She's not talking about this year, I don't think, the upcoming year. Fiscal '23, I think that's looking back, characterizing what we did.
Okay, and so then, and then in
Yeah.
the next sentence, she's talking about seeing it rebound.
Right, so she's
Okay,
saying,
so we- and
she's
so
saying there's a
we've-
shift.
Yeah, so we've addressed the rebound. But what she hasn't addressed is potential abatements for this year, right?
Right.
And actually, you won't even know, right, just know there's potential because
Which
what they
they're
have to be,
always-
they have to be in what the same days the taxes are due, the
Right.
22nd.
Well, and I can't imagine with Sears closed that we're assessing it at a,
I wouldn't think
I
so.
wouldn't, so then you don't need to abate if you don't have the
Correct.
assessment that's high.
Yeah, so right, so there's the question is then how much abatement would there be this year versus just the natural course of what things are, or what has transpired from
Yeah,
FY
so
'22?
you got a retailer closing at Solomon Pond. I don't know what's opened up at Highland Commons. This is the frustrating thing about retail. I mean, you shut it down there and you open
Sure.
it there, right? In a different spot.
Yep.
Um,
Well, it's also probably a little bit beyond our purview or our ability to know at this point, so for us to even put anything in our letter.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Scott, what do you got?
All right, so we just had, the first paragraph is, the Finance Committee echoes the town administrator's FY '23 process memo about seeing stability in various local receipt categories and state aid revenues, as well as significant rebounding of serious declines in certain local receipts during the pandemic. Given that unrestricted general government state aid remained stable in FY '22 despite the pandemic, and state aid reductions are not anticipated in the coming fiscal year, town departments, boards, and committees are required to submit FY '23 payroll and expense budget requests that reflect a bottom line departmental budget increase of not more than 2.5% or the FY '22 amounts approved at the May 15, 2021 annual town meeting.
Okay. The only thing I might add is that at the very beginning where it says echoes,
Yep.
I would say echoes and is encouraged by, other than, rather than just restating it,
Yep.
that word.
And
Because we're saying that the finance committee echoes it, but that,
that's positive news.
yes.
Okay, Finance Committee echoes and is encouraged by, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Then, right now, under the FY '20, well, actually FY '23 budget kickoff, it's just general department heads, committee chairs, and town officials are invited to a budget kickoff meeting to be scheduled in the next couple weeks.
Mhm.
Format to be determined. A short presentation of the calendar guide, scheduling issues, budget forms, and payroll issues will be made. The town accountant, town administrator, the finance committee members will be available for questions.
Sounds about right.
And then budget request deadline, please have your FY '23 budget request approved by your appointing authority and sent to the town administrator by Monday, December 6th. It is important to get them all in on time. As a reminder, per town bylaws, late submissions might not be accepted and the department can be level funded or cut if need be. And then budget presentations. The Finance Committee will begin hearing budget presentations from departments at our December 15th meeting. You'll be contacted to schedule your 15 to 30-minute time slot. We plan to complete our budget hearings, budget and warrant article reviews, and to make decisions by March 2nd. Budget decisions will be emailed to you at that point. There will be a final Finance Committee meeting to hear any appeals on March 16th. And then the questions or comments, feel free to contact Stan.
Yeah, because he'll talk to you. You can get a hold of him. Good luck with that.
Call them early, call them.
That's right, call early and call often. All right, perfect. I like memos by committee.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And do a quick spelling and, let's see.
You were right, Stan. I'm looking back at the email on November 11, and she respectfully asked that we discuss our budget memo tonight.
Okay.
So we can include it in the budget packets being distributed on Monday, the 22nd.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I was pretty
So-
confident that we needed to have this meeting.
Yeah,
This needed to happen before.
Yeah, it was the earlier email in this chain that,
Okay.
where she said that, yeah.
I mean, since we don't know their dates, I mean, we just, or try to put more in italics here about, obviously, the things changing, or, I mean, are they just gonna send it out as is, saying that we don't know the dates yet?
I think, yeah, I mean, because we don't.
Okay.
And we're not meeting again when we would know it, so.
All right, let me email this to everybody.
Thank you, including Margaret, right?
Yes.
Margaret and June.
We can invite her to put a date in that
Sure.
part.
Here you go. Feel free to amend with the appropriate date.
All right, so this is reply to all. How many people is this going to? June's on here, treasurer, Molly Reed, select board.
Everyone who's anyone.
What's else on the agenda?
That was the agenda.
That was?
Yeah. Did we have to make a formal vote on the memo, or do we just
think so.
did it and we're done?
I think we submit it.
Okay. We also had budget discussion, if you want to.
I don't think we have anything to discuss on the budget at this point, do we? Does anyone? I shouldn't say it that way. Does anyone? I shouldn't say that we do. I should say, does anyone? I personally don't. I look forward to any information that Margaret might impart on us on our December 15th meeting, and I feel like that's time to get the process going.
Motion to adjourn, is that what we're waiting for?
Yep,
Motion to adjourn.
at 8:18. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll be interesting to see what the hotel does.